Hello, everyone. Hello. Let me drop some music here real quick. I'll lower that down a little bit. Boom, boom, boom. Good morning, everybody. How are you guys doing today? Welcome in to a Blue Protocol Dev Update stream. If you guys are new to the channel or you're new to my content and style, welcome in. I'm glad you're here. For the returning subscribers, thank you so much for coming back and checking out today's live stream. Now, there's a couple of show notes that I want to get in in your mind before we get into kind of the discussion before they kick off with the dev update. Today's also the Nintendo event, so after this stream is concluded, the system YouTube will auto raid you into the Nintendo event reaction. So hopefully you guys want to join me for that today. The stream is also live translated by Zachem. I've got his links in the description and pinned in chat. Now, he tends to put up the subtitles of what is happening. So if you guys want to hang out here, you want to go watch him, I please would ask you to go make sure you give him a follow, give him a like, and give him a watch as well for the work that he puts in, allowing us to have these kind of discussions and these conversations. Because I don't speak Japanese, but I do love anime games. I do love JRPGs specifically, and I'm very excited about this game when it's set to release. And hopefully today we're going to learn something more about the global version of Blue Protocol. It's been weirdly quiet since, from Amazon, as we are almost into March, which actually would have me some concerns. Like that, I'm not going to lie, that's going to give me a little bit of pause, because they said they wanted the game 6 months out from the release of the live version. But then I would say, being that we haven't heard anything from them yet in February, I think they're going to be targeting kind of the 1 year release anniversary on the platform for Japan, and so kind of bring it stateside around that. That's my next and best estimate that I can give at this time. I'm going to go ahead and pause this. I'm going to turn on some of the stream beats. There we go. A little bit more background music. Now, once the stream does go live, I will full screen this, and we'll end up dropping some of the volume on them, just a little bit of that volume drop. And yeah, that's gonna be great. Now, this live stream is also being co-streamed over on Ginger Prime, as well as Blue Protocol Central. After the stream is finished, the Ginger Prime version will become unlisted, and the main version will be the Blue Protocol Central version. So wherever you're watching, thank you so much for being here. If you guys enjoy the content, the best and awesomest way to support it is hitting that like button. But then outside of that, I'm glad you're here. Honestly, I just check out some videos maybe after the fact. I'm working on making my own game. So y'all's engagement and y'all's just lurk support is helping to hopefully make that a reality as we're still in pre-production. Now, I'm going to get caught up on chat, see what everybody's saying. What's going on, Gilberto? And what's going on, Brothers Crib? How y'all doing over there? And then we got Lynn, Erd, and then Augusto, awesome name, Jonathan, and Sakio, and Kumobius. Welcome, good morning. Fusion Gaming, good morning. Yes, if Global doesn't come out this year, that's gonna be a little bit weird. That's gonna be a little bit on the weird side, guys. That's gonna be, if they miss that wide, like that's I would, man, I don't know why, right? Like what would be the problem? And it'd have to be some kind of hiring or something, like. I mean, we have AI that does translations now, guys. Like in terms of, and I know AI in game development is a tricky subject for some, because some people are like, bring it on, and some people are like, no, thank you. But it's like, when I toss my videos and they get like they get translated with the subtitles and things like that, I'm like, that saves me so much time. That saves me so much time. Same thing with the chapters on the videos and the VODs and things like that. That saves me so much time. It just, hey guys, here you go. Here's a great summary of the video or the live stream, so that way you don't have to sit here and, you know, scrub. Especially if I ever go back to a live stream because I'm like, oh, there was a clip or I said something that I want to reference in a video, then I can bring that all the way back. Jonathan says, who here have waited since Peria Chronicles announcements until it got canceled and Blue Protocol showed up? I haven't actually heard of Peria Chronicles. Augusta says, we won't get a global version of this game. The game won't ever come out. Maeve with the Japanese version receives a when the Japanese version receives the shutdown. So I don't agree with that statement. We will get a global version. Now, what's interesting is I haven't seen the video yet, and I was thinking about doing a react to it. You know, but Aethersong put out a video talking about kind of just like the overall kind of collapse and reception in Japan, and a lot of that is like the game's been out for 6-7 months. Like, I'm not surprised by that, right? Everybody thinks a game is going to come out and just keep like breaking records, but like that just is not how it is. Outside of like rare exceptions, right now Helldivers 2 being one of them, where the numbers just continue to go up and up and up. But like that's and you know, obviously they all have a you know a theoretical period, but I'm very excited for global. I think when it is brought to the West, it's going to be a really nice treat. And then it's all about going to be that content communication and consistency of the content. Like, do they bring in new content? Do we get, you know, what are we waiting for? What's going to keep us on that grind? And it doesn't mean that it's got to keep us every, you know, month, right? Because it kind of ends up being a lot healthier for us to play more games, to kick back and, you know, jump into something else and then return. So it's got to have that hook like in you immediately, and then it's got to be able to reel you back in every couple of months to every couple of years, right? And everybody's gonna be different in that case, but I don't think I'm not personally worried. I do not think global has been canceled. I do wish they would communicate with us as that today is the 21st, which as Brothers Crib says, happy Final Fantasy 14 beta on the Xbox Day. I'm going to have to go get my Xbox downloading some Final Fantasy 14. But I won't be doing it on my main account because Square Enix recommends not doing that. We'll see how well that goes. And then I'll run it on a test account with a free trial so I can play without having to be subscribed. It might be the next Skull and Bones in terms of localization. That could definitely be something. I don't think Skull and Bones' issue was just localization, though. Localization from the development perspective isn't, it isn't the deal breaker. There's a lot of things that end up like it's more that when it comes to development with Skull and Bones, they changed their vision multiple times, Yes, I'm with you, Milligan. Yes, I hope they talk about global. They've done it once before, and I think that was good to see. But no, like we're. Ooh. Gilberto says for Skull and Bones, their issues were pirates. That's funny. All right. Hello, 12 minutes before lunch for work. Cool. See here, I would bet you're in the UK, Cairo. Oh yeah. There we go. Perfect. Belgium. Okay, very cool. My ignorant Texas US guy brain goes, what's the difference? It's like Belgium isn't in the UK? I know, I've heard of it. Erd is in the UK. Well, howdy from Texas, guys. If you're joining me from outside the United States, thanks so much for coming in, man. I'm really glad that y'all are here. It's always fun to kind of see some YouTube analytics about like, hey, did you know that people speak these languages? I'm like, oh, that's great. Then they watch your videos. Even better. Ba-ba-ba-ba-bow. Yeah, on Ginger Prime, they've given this option. I don't think it's dubbing. I think it literally is. I'm gonna pick up a video and use the term they use. Let's see here, edits, language. Let's say they change subtitles to languages, and they have AI generated, allowed transcribes, then dubs videos you give access to viewers around the world. So it transcribes and dubs using AI generation. Like, this is such a neat, this is a good example of like AI really saving some time. Woohoo! All right, the stream is up. Let me drop the music, see if we can't get their sweet music going. They haven't played it yet. All right, wait till that kicks up. The and it says that I've used I'm out of my weekly limit for doing that because I publish a lot, guys. Let's see here. Little notification. What's up? Thank you, Harry and Bob. Glad you're here. Fusion Gaming says people waited on Relink for 8 years. Also, people are still waiting on Blue Protocol. Skull and Crossbones. Like, is this the new Skull and Crossbones, guys? Or Skull and Bones. There's no cross in their name. Yeah, on Relink is phenomenal, and it's actually doing really well. I'm so happy to see people have taken to it. I actually also, I bought it originally on PS5. I decided I bought it on the Steam as well, which is great. Tales of Arise, I don't know if you guys have played that game, but that's a really fun game. It just got dropped into Game Pass, so if you've never played it, then you should check it out. And then, let me lower this down just a little bit. And also, yeah, like I'm looking forward to GeForce, like playing it on GeForce Now again, which is nice because I was like, yeah, when it's all said and done, like, I don't have unlimited hard drive space, and I do like to play and check out a lot of different games. Yeah, the Relink and the characters are so good, and the voice acting is so good. The combat is phenomenal. I just recently stepped into Final Fantasy VII Remake for the first time. And I can tell you, like, hands down, it's so interesting because I'm working on a video. I'm working on lots of videos, but I got some scripts in progress. One's just called, I was wrong about Final Fantasy, 16. And I'm really glad I played 16 before I played 7 Remake. And if you haven't had that privilege, that's the order that I'm going to recommend you play those games in. Are there any good alternatives in terms of MMOs? I get a lot of hate, but I love New World. I think New World, especially, guys, if you haven't seen, I just released my controller guide. They're bringing in official controller support on like March the 12th, whenever the season 5 is set to kick off. And they just added in the group finder that actually does like matchmaking to get you into the content. It is a game changer. Like, it feels like an entirely different MMO. That being said, if you're like me and you've been playing this whole time, you might be like, I want new content. And I'm not going to sit in here and say you're wrong, but I do think that with this kind of foundation as their base, we're going to be seeing console and so much more. A lot of people are going to be excited for it. I ended up playing most of my time on GeForce Now with New World because I like playing it in ultra wide at 120 frames a second. It's a great experience. And that's just the power of the cloud. And that's where, that's great. Now, if you have an Xbox and you've never played Final Fantasy 14, the beta kicks off today. Maybe I would recommend you check that game out. And let's see, in terms of MMOs, I'm not a WoW guy. I never really got into World of Warcraft at all, but I hear a lot of really good things about how, let's see here. What am I thinking? About the Season Discovery as a part of Classic. And it looks like WoW might be coming to GeForce Now real soon. The question that I am hoping gets answered is, and honestly, I think it'd be a really power move for them to do this, is if they add in World of Warcraft subscription into the ultimate tier of Game Pass. That would be something where I would consider checking it out. But in terms of MMOs, right now, if you're looking for, if you're looking for an action MMO, I don't think there's anyone out there. Maybe people push back and say BDO, but I've never played it. But New World has really great combat, visuals and sound, and they do a lot, and it's getting good. But yeah, does Chad have any recommendations for alternatives for MMOs for Augusto? Yeah, so New World is an action combat. Because I was like, we still haven't heard about Throne and Liberty, but that's not really action combat. That is tab target. Final Fantasy 14 is tab target. How's the balance with the voice and the music from the stream? Is everything? I just wanted to make sure that you guys aren't getting blasted. Hey, Caparian over on Facebook. Good morning. Let's go. Oh, this music's phenomenal. The visuals and the combat and everything I played, I'm like, I've been missing it since they kept kicking me out of Japan. It's like, come on. I do think, Cairo, that New World is coming to consoles, and the reason that it's going to come to consoles is because the Lord of the Rings game that they're working on, the Lord of the Rings MMO, is also coming to consoles. And so from a development perspective, they're doing something really interesting, right? They're able, like, if you don't mind me nerding out about taxes with you guys for a second, I'm not a tax guy. I'm a software engineer. I'm a game developer now, which is great. So we're making progress there. But in business, when it comes to software development, games or whatnot, you kind of have things get categorized into two categories: capitalization expenses, and then like ongoing support. And these are taxed at different rates. So what the Amazon team is able to do is, because they are investing in making their engine the 2.0 engine or the 3.0 engine to drive the things that are going on with the Lord of the Rings, they can expense that at a lower rate for taxes, and then bring and test and prove it all out in New World. And so they're they're double dipping. They get that benefit of, real-time feedback, real scenario things that are rocking and rolling. And then from a tax perspective, that's not a part of their ongoing maintenance, etc. So anyway, I don't know if it works in other countries differently, but that's just how it is here, guys. So I think it's really ingenious, right? Especially because as somebody who likes New World, it's like, yeah, and the game's going to be a little bit, still a while away from coming out. Ooh, okay, yes. Turf says, I hope they show us the new weapon, and I think it's a harp. Yeah, somebody said guitar. I saw daggers, and I don't know why. So, my eyes, if it ends up being a bard or a guitar wielding job class, that would be so sweet. All right, here's a great line from Creature over on Ginger Prime. He says, "New test all my world. LOL, I love it. It's my new favorite game." It's like, come on, guys. It is such a unique advantage that they have. In fact, because people will try to say hey, New World doesn't have the player numbers that had at launch. That sounds like every game out there on the planet. It's like, all right, you go look at every game, oh, it hit some kind of massive peak. If it comes to consoles, it's going to open it up to more. Adding in official controller support is going to open up the game to a lot more players. So good morning, everybody. Creature, him and I have been working on a few things, and this is going to look a little weird because I don't have it set up for the desktop, and I don't have a motion plugin, but for members and for like supporters, I'm able to toss in like different things like this. Got the different primal summons, and I'll save 50 for you guys for now. So there we go. Boom. Oh, did I go back? There it goes. Sweet. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Oh, I don't have my Embergoal. Or is that under just gaming? There's the gaming. Hold on one second. Let me get that in here. Copy. Over on Prime, for every 25, I gift out 5 members and been making a lot of exclusive content over there. So let's go back over to the desktop scene. It sounds like they're getting ready to start, which is excellent news. There we go. Perfect. All right, cool. I was like, I'm missing something. Missing a feature. Yeah, dagger. Like, I take daggers in New World as well. Like, there's, like, it's kind of fun to be like, oh, what kind of weapons are coming? What's up, Chiwukoma? I'm sorry if I'm butchering names here today. I am hyperly dyslexic. Oh, here we go. I love this. I love this trailer. All right. Bard class is pretty much confirmed. Rock on, dude. That's gonna be like something that invites a lot of people back, right? Because it's like, hey, I played the game. And it's like, oh, I'm looking for more a class that is like X, Y, or Z, and then it's like, oh, they added that. Ooh, a katana would be sweet. So Ray is asking, Ginger, do we know when Blue Protocol is coming to console? And so it is out on console in Japan. I'm going to guess right now, the fact that we haven't heard anything from AGS at all regarding global is that it might be, generally speaking, around the 1 year time frame. All right, I'm going to lower the volume a little bit. All right. Hey. They're going to go and do their general round of introductions for those of you who've never caught a live version of this and you've only watched like one of my summaries. This is just where they go around and say, hey, here's who we are. Here's the panel. Different background from the usual this time around. I don't know, Tokyo. I would love to be wrong, but I'm just saying, like, they haven't even been talking about it. And when we think about marketing and hype, and we also think about everything that's kind of coming out in the first quarter, I think we're looking at, you know, May or June for the time frame. But we'll see. I'd love to be wrong, you know, but them just the tea leaves I'm reading. Oh, we got some people over on Facebook. Good morning. Protos, Zelios, Peace, Habby, and Tamika. Welcome in. They've been 3. I think the last stream actually had the 4th, where they kind of brought in an MC. I've seen like the PSO devs kind of do that, right? We're like, hey, this is the guy who's kind of the host, of this. Creature says June is realistic. Too many titles stacked up between now and June, and is the first real break in the action from what we know. From what we know, but it does make sense. June also ends up being, the 1 year time frame that it's been out in Japan. So they didn't make 6 months; it made a year. They're nervous because it's 4 people again. I knew it. I knew that they had they've done 4 people before. Same game. They're talking basically explaining what Blue Protocol is, what kind of game it is, for those who might not know. And that's actually one of the things, like, I don't fault them for this at all. It is literally something you kind of learn where you're like, hey, oh my gosh, I should tell people about the things that I make. And speaking of which, guys, if you've never been here and you're brand new, welcome in. The top link will get you to all the content that I make and the different channels and the podcasts, but also get you access to the Discords if you want to come and play some Blue Protocol Global, talk about Blue Protocol when I'm not making a video. Yeah, top link will get you where you want to go. And if you guys use Instagram, it would really help me out in my comedy career. I've just crossed over 300 followers on Instagram. And yeah, the link is also in the top. All that top link that gets you everywhere you want. Happy Valentine's Day from the Blue Protocol team. That looks really good. Chocolates, marshmallow. I would say that looks like hot chocolate. Hopefully everybody here had a happy Valentine's Day. One second. I don't know why I decided to drop in quality. Thank you very much. There we go. Boom, baby. So Val asks, is the game a gacha? And kind of. The cosmetic and mount system are locked behind a gacha system, but the game, it's not a power system. You don't have to unlock a class via gacha. You don't have to unlock your character, that's kind of a separate. So it's just like the gacha system is purely cosmetics. Oh, and an announcement. The February update. I'm gonna highlight the contents that's a part of the February update. They've been hitting these updates once a month, which I think is really great. Good morning, guys. I'm getting a lot of Facebook chats today. It's wild. I never see anybody more on Facebook. How many people are watching on Facebook? Oh, wow. 24 people, and thank you for the likes over there. Sweet. Ace Release Defense Battle 2 is being pointed out, and they've received your feedback. And they plan to improve the quote-unquote funness moving forward. All right, Uncle A. No mention yet of a global release, but as soon as that happens, you will see me freak out. If they do that today. Like, oh my gosh. It's happening. They're going to also improve the rewards. They're talking about 3x. Mm. Yeah, we'll all freak out together, dude. It'll be great. It's going to make today, oh gosh, imagine... They've had the closed technical test, and I've heard really good things. Somebody actually said it wasn't that great. And I was like, interesting. I don't know if that was their interpretation of that. And he says you can now mount in defense battle. So a new update there. This is the first implementation of the defense battle. So they're still looking at areas for this improvement. Thank you, Jack. I love that emote. It makes me laugh every time. Since this is 2, there may be a 3 and a 4. I say. Here's a chapter 5 teaser, guys. I'm going to turn up the volume. Visually, this game is just breathtaking. Trailer feels very Final Fantasy 14 trailer-esque. Yeah. Oh, look at this. It's beautiful. That's great. Yay, excellent, excellent. Excellent. No, nothing yet about global, but if they're going to be a global announcement, unfortunately, this isn't me trying to string you along so I get the watch time. They're going to save it towards the end if they're going to announce global, which there's no guarantee. So excuse me. I will summarize this in a video for you guys after the fact. So if you're like, hey, I get it. Your time's precious. I appreciate you giving me some of it today. But yeah, I'll try to make I'll make a short summary video of the announcements and what we know and where the hell global is once the stream is done. I might do that live because eventually I need to roll into the Nintendo thing. Who knows? We'll see. The update is coming on the 28th. Apostle of the Beast, the white-haired girl, is La Forte. Thanks, Levi. Much love to you. Light the candles. Let's go. Morning, WG. How you doing, buddy? Ooh. I think that's a really good question about Inspired asks, are you going to cover the Elden Ring DLC announcement as well? I posted up as a community post on Prime today, Inspired. And so if I do, not intentional, the announcement, it will be over on Prime. I just don't know when it's going to be. And as somebody who has recently just got into Elden Ring, it's really great. So I'm really excited. But do they stack it up with Dragon's Dogma 2, guys? Like I'm looking forward to Dragon's Dogma 2. I'm going to be playing that in March. Music and field bosses. Sweet Action Jackson. They're showing off the different areas. So this is kind of like a little field video. Let me go and turn up the volume again. Get that music so they're not talking. This is Cape I failed on that name. I've already predicted, and I'm going to tell you right now, I think we're going to be looking at June as a time frame for the 1-year anniversary of the Japanese release. Because they have not said, and it's not even if they say anything about it, AGS hasn't said a peep. And next, here in a week-ish, it's going to be March. And it's like, well, they with the test and with like just a logistical thing that it's just, they're not going to just rush it out and not tell us about it. It's about 30 to 40 minutes behind Nintendo. Nintendo is at 8 o'clock. And this should run us into 6 something. I don't know. We'll see. There we go. There's the new dungeon. The King Mano enemy is what they showed us off right there. Thank you guys for the 45 likes over here on Blue Protocol. When is PAX East inspired creativity? Because that's generally in March, but I don't have the date like locked into my brain because you could absolutely be knocking it out of the park. PAX East is a big public event. It's going to make there's going to be a lot of announcements. So yeah, and if AGS doesn't announce anything today, because they haven't even been keeping up with their like Meanwhile in Japan series. So yeah, it doesn't mean that I'm worried about the game. It just seems a little bit strange, and I get it though. You know, they probably got a lot of things, a lot of irons in the fire. So this is the new sea theme, the new enemy race, the Mano. The Yakuza is shared for the Yakuzai is shared from King Moms in EX Rush, etc. Strategy can be different from before. That's what they're talking about. March 21st to the 24th. I guess that if they're shooting for June, them kind of putting up their marketing blitz at PAX at that time does make a lot of sense, because then you could have April and May kind of the test and then release. Chapter 5 teaser is going to be on the official site after the stream. Makes sense. February improvements and fixes. I thought they kind of already talked about this, but it is what it is. Adjustments to buffs and debuffs. Is the version of the global going to be different from the Japanese one? Yes. Levi. Binded enemies can now be dragged. Neat. Like from the heavy smash, dust vortex or something like that. This is the ritual. All right, guys, follow Evo's, and Jackson chat. Drop those emotes just like crazy. Summon the global version, please. So yeah, there's going to be differences. I think in terms of monetization, this ends up kicking up a firestorm online, but they, just like every JRPG, they are aging up the characters or adjusting some of the garb because there are big cultural differences in what is appropriate at what age. So, yeah, so there's going to be changes to that, but they've, like that was going to happen whether it was AGS or any other company. I love you guys so much. Thank you for dropping those motes. Ooh, turn this up. Oh, nice. Canceled it. Cool. That's cool. I like that a lot. This is mostly in regards to the skills that aggro and provoke enemies. I know some of this translation might not be as pertinent to us right now, but I think it's really cool to see how they evolve as developers and how they make these changes. Yeah, that's actually a really good point, Ray. So, like, if maybe Microsoft had it, then they wouldn't have changed much. But isn't PSO2 also rated M? And that could be, and maybe it's just it's a ratings board thing, right? Where, like, if they're going for that teen rating versus the, which also is weird because especially with MMOs, you're already dealing with the internet and people online. You never know what you're going to get. That's why I do not recommend children play these games. Whenever I have and my kids want to play, we always we're turning off global chat. We're just shutting her down. We don't need to be reading about crazy things. And I know I get people upset, but it's like for me, like when it comes to keeping children safe, like the dad in me is like, hell yeah, man. I'm not gonna worry about it. But I know that people have different opinions and they're welcome to have those opinions. I just do not share them. But yeah, let me know about, I'll look up the PSO2 rating. And they say the Heavy Smasher's new skill, Fast Draw, will also be able to do this because it also does aggro. PSO2 rating. ESRB. Yeah, it's PSO2 is rated M for mature, so that ends up being an interesting debate and discussion, right? Where should they make Blue Protocol an M-rated game? And as a free-to-play game, I think that limits them, and they want to be as mass market as possible. You can play Blue Protocol outside of Japan, and you might also get banned like this guy right here. So it ends up being a risk. You will need a VPN. I do have VPN affiliates, and they're linked in the description. If you do that, it supports me financially, but you don't need to. Speaking of which, though, even if you don't need to sign up for ExpressVPN or anything like that, click that link from time to time. It really does help me out. It's like, oh, he's getting some engagement on his links. They're increasing the attack spamming below belt would be 2 OP, so it's capped at 3 times. Limited in the stagger. But its subsequent blow beats will still shift the aggro. Hey, what's up, Thomas? Welcome in. Asking if there's any news. Right now, they're just kind of going over the February updates. We're still waiting. .3, 1.5. Ice Shard is considerably buffed at 2.6. And it's an AoE. Ray says Pal World is safe. Oh, dude, I don't know, man. Like, as a parent, I feel like I gotta be constantly like on the guard. All right, let's see here. Some content changes. Storage slots. Oh. Or equipment storage slots. Increased. Oh my gosh. This is something where I always kind of feel like MMOs run into this. Like, hey, can we get more more storage, please? Like, I don't want to get rid of this. I really like this item. I want to hold on to it. Album slots from 18 to 30, and the friends list is increased from 100 to 200. So that's excellent. That's a good thing. I tell you why I like these kind of changes, because it has a reflection on the amount of memory and how their memory management for the game is going. And so when they're able to increase these things, that means that they feel like they've got that stability to do so. So you're not having to send more data pack. Well, I mean, you are sending more data packets to the game and the client, server and client, but yeah, that's a good. I always like seeing that, namely because if they were like, oh man, it's going to take us 17 years to increase the inventory, you're like, who? So whoever, oh no, that's not a good sign. Good morning, Randy. How y'all doing over there? Inspired says sad that they're not making any more changes to the Spellweaver. That class needs a total rework. Who knows? It's going to be interesting to see also what changes between global and the Japanese version, because, you know, like, will we get these changes on day one? Maybe. But I think that we'll roll out the content, like the chapters, over the course of the year. The album will also have a sort button, and the friends list will be 200 or be 100 each on 2 pages. So basically, they're paging the data smart. I just hope they don't do it like Final Fantasy XIV's friend list. That, like, when Yoshi P announces that they reworked the friend list in Final Fantasy XIV, I will lose my mind, because that is one of the most awful implementations, and I'm sure he knows it. And then now they're talking about, like, hey, we want a closet system, which is separate from the equipment and inventory in the player's bag. And I think those are really, really smart systems, because you can also write it in forms of a different kind of way of, you know, managing the memory. Sorry, I geek out on the real weird technical details. Thank y'all. I'm really glad everybody's having such a good day so far. Appreciate y'all's support. Val says, I would rather they just make it a mature MMO. Chat is terrible for people to tend to overshare. See, that's you're making an excellent point, Val. That's one of the things I was talking about. It's like, as an MMO, like, MMOs maybe should all just be rated M for mature. It doesn't mean that we're going to act mature in the game, but because of that very fact. Like, I will play Gears of War around my kids, but I won't let, like, global chatter or be on Twitter or any of the social media stuff around them. There's a big difference maker there. Over on Prime, we've got 14 likes. Thank you, guys. And on Blue Protocol, we've got 57 likes. Thank you so much. Player housing when? Let's go. That's right, Inspired. And they're going to say, like, enemies are going to have their stats adjusted depending on how many players are in the dungeon at any time. Scaling. Oh, Randy's getting ready for bed, dude. I hope you have a good night. Today's going to be fun. Not yet, Howling Apache. We're all there with you. If they're going to have any kind of announcement that really makes us happy, it's going to be more towards the end of their live stream. Let's see what these changes are about. Ba-da-da-da-da. My eye edges. They say that this adjustment where the enemy's stats will scale and adjust might not be applicable to all the dungeons they have in the game at this time. And they've removed the spawn conditions for elite monsters, so no more day-night exclusives. No more requires X players condition. And they reduced the spawn cooldown. Fascinating. I bet that was really frustrating. I think part of it, Howling, when we talk about like MMOs and delays, and to hopefully try to explain kind of what's going on behind the scenes, especially with gamers, I think it's more important that you have content that flows at a regular and consistent basis so that gamers can kind of schedule themselves around, hey, I'm going to play this update, or I'm going to take a break from this update. And then you have to set that up. That doesn't happen naturally. That's like, as boring as it is, as business as it is, it's project management 101. Do we have the time, the money, and the resources to do these things that bring these things to everybody? And I think essentially what ends up happening is when they evaluated the game, they're like, well, it's got enough content, but people are just going to burn through that within a couple of weeks. And they're like, okay, what's going to take to add in more content? And how soon can we start bringing out content? So they've been doing these updates every month, where basically a chapter is the equivalent of 4 months. It's really I think it's really quite well done. Inspire says, dang, I like the day-night spawns. Made it easy to figure out when to be there for the spawns. That's a good point. Yeah, everybody has a favorite Pokemon, so it's like, yep. It's like, what do you mean this one game doesn't support my Pokemon? Yeah, so with that, I don't know. I think it's probably based off of feedback, and people were kind of annoyed by it. Hopefully it didn't mean like day-night in terms of our life. Mount Caravan. Interesting. It's got its own level. Right now, David, the estimate that I would give you guys is around the 1-year anniversary. When did Blue Protocol come out in Japan? Let's see if we can have a date on that. Japan release date. June 14, 2023 is when it came out of Japan. So if I pull up the calendar, I make the best calendar content, guys. It's like, let's look at this, bring up the scheduler. So if we're looking at, so March 21st to the 23rd, that is PAX East. April, May, June 14th is a Friday. So they could say June 11th for early access and then launching on the official 1 year. Mounts will get you items. You can use the mount that you have currently equipped, and you can have a maximum of 5. Yeah, but it helps because the amount of time that game development takes is that you got to think about things in 6, 9, 12, and 18 months, like in terms of like effort and how long it's going to take to get a feature or something in. So if they're like, hey, we've got to, you get that, you give yourself a head start. So you're always kind of like, yep, we're working on that. We're hearing that feedback. And then you have to go and hot fix things, which hot fixing can be annoying. Yeah, and that and the differences between Japan and here is also going to be a localization because Amazon's probably spending a lot of money on getting like high quality voice actors like they did for New World, so they want to bring that here. And that's where it's like it's going to be really interesting whenever the game does launch. If it launches with all these additional classes, I'm betting some of the quality of life stuff, but because of the storied and the acting and the voicing, we'll see it staggered out. And then mount images can be limit broken now. Very cool. Increasing the rewards that they can bring in via the Mount Caravan. Sounds like a little fun, interesting system. All right, seen a little bit, Jack. Good morning, Magnum. Screenshot shows Lucky Chance 4 on the +3 Fox. Hey Norsan, how are you doing tonight? Or this morning? It's still dark. You can get an advanced board mount, the G-Shi shop mount, and the rate drop mount. Or the rare drop mount, excuse me. But they're adding 2 mounts via bonus quests. Interesting. So it sounds like people are like, I would like a mount and I don't want to pay for it. Sean, what's up, dude? Good morning. I hope you're doing well, sir. Oh. That notification. All right, thank you for the follow over on Twitch. So based off of that, if we can understand it correctly, what they're talking about with the mounts, the dupes, the stores, etc., free-to-play players can now get up to like 7 mounts if we understand what they're kind of like sharing there. Oh, this is the character cards coming in at the dungeon entrance. Very Final Fantasy 14-esque. If you guys aren't aware, a lot of the development team from 14 went over to Blue Protocol. So this sounds awesome. I love that. It's such a nice little feature. Little player cards. Gives you more opportunity to kind of highlight them. I like that. I like that a lot. I'm sorry to hear that, Ray. God bless your grandmother. The screenshot shows the medal for killing 1,000 enemies. New sales and events are upcoming. More costumes. Oh, great question, Starved. And no worries, guys. You can. I'm just thankful you're spending some time with me today. I really appreciate it. Asking, has there been any news on global yet? Not at this moment. If they do make a global announcement or anything like that, it's going to happen at their end of the stream when they kind of do their announcements. That's when they've done it in the past. And if we don't hear anything, again, I'm speculating June 14th as the release for this game, which will coincide with the 1-year anniversary of its release in Japan. Who knows? Amazon could start, chiming in today, which I think also then Throne to Liberty might be a game that comes out in the fall. So. This gotcha is themed around the Star Festival, which will happen in Chapter 5. So I know somebody in chat was earlier asking about the gotcha system. This is that system. Andrew says, I've heard that Blue Protocol isn't doing that well in Japan and many Japanese players are not that impressed. Is it true? Yes and no. When it comes down to player reception, I think when people have the expectation that the games are going to come out and keep growing, I think it's all going to be about that, inviting people back in and more. So that's just where feedback comes into play. Like, there's a lot of other really great games to play. So it's like, I think we live in a world of right now where we're just blessed with so many really great games and people end up wanting to go play those. So it's all about how do you invite people back into your, into your online game. Like the exception would be Helldivers 2 right now. At some point they're going to hit an upper limit and people are then going to be like, oh, I hear it's not doing so great because the numbers are dropping. It's like, I think gamers put too much focus into the wrong stats. So David asked, with the global version, when it eventually comes out, do you want them to quickly catch up to the content or forever stay a year behind? I think, honestly, from a development perspective, if they stay that year in terms of story, then they can do that. In terms of feedback and hot fixes and whatnot, I hope not. So I hope there's kind of just two trajectories. Hey, is this the bard that they were talking about? If nothing else, it's an interesting mount. Oh, it's a mount. Which, with the microphone, does, I think, lead to what they teased off with the new class, guys. Yeah, Val says WoW has been dropping for 20 years and people hate that game. You know, like, and then you just go online and people hate that game. Still doing gangbusters. Just hanging out with Nanny, who's a part of the community here. He's back into WoW and he's like, man, Dragonflight's been phenomenal. I'm like, that's great. Yeah, call me TK says I'm gonna ask. I remember that the game was really hyped for a minute, but then I haven't heard much about it lately. The thing about hype though is that once there is a like kind of a destination, once we have that date, like you'll see like we are so marketed to, people spend so much money to get us to buy or to believe certain things. It's wild, right? Same thing applies to games. When advertising starts kicking in and just the general population's like, hey, I'm going to go check that out. You know, like they'll spend the money and people will play it. And then same thing with the, like with big streamers and things like that. They'll get those contracts and everybody's going to be talking about it. And then that seems to be the business model now. Oh man, I'm sorry, Ray, dude. And they say into like defense battle and other stuff, the background music only changes for you, which makes sense. They're not gonna go in and be like, hey, I changed the entire background music for everything. I got some more gacha pool rewards here. Looks like various different emotes. I love emotes. Sucks that I can't like just purchase them outright. Generally speaking, I don't do a lot of games of chance. I've always been worried about being addicted. People go to like streamers more for like reviews to decide if they want to buy and play a game, and then they just go to the traditional review sites for some kind of weird points system. There are obviously people who still use like written reviews as a metric for whether they want to buy a game, but I think the vast majority of people go to streamers now to get the gameplay and their thoughts, etc. Which is also interesting because like the video game industry and the like us content creators around it, like access is like people are like, how much did you get paid for like saying that you like this game? It's like, I didn't get paid anything, but access is like getting paid. Now I don't have access, but it's like having that level of access lets you be like IGN getting cut off from reviews, like cost them a lot of money for Suicide Squad. Like that was a statement, and it, you know, we could be like, the industry shouldn't do it like that, and I agree, but we got to talk about and live in the world that actually exists, not the one that we wish existed. Oh, cool. Thanks. Yeah, thanks for checking out the Twitch stream, Starved. I think also I have Twitch set to subscriber only chat. And you can chat on the YouTubes for free. Do you call me? TK says I do listen to reviews, but it's like a movie. I got to experience it myself. So if it seems interesting to me, then I can afford it, or not sometimes, and I get that. Then I grab it. Sometimes it works. Do you read the review before you play, or because if you do, like I think that I do think it more is also a generational thing. For me, I'm like, I'll go check out a stream now, which is kind of crazy. Because, like, especially for an MMO and a live service game, like, the only way to kind of judge its service piece of it is with a lot of time into the game and under its belt. Hair ornaments are back. Hair ornaments and back piece chapter 5 events. Oh, Creature, I would love that. He says there needs to be an accredited system for reviews, much like press credentials. If you have review credentials, the question wouldn't be if you get a code, but when entry, even entry points. Yeah, that'd be great. It'd be great if the system was overhauled. Thanks for the lurk. Call me. I appreciate you, dude. So they're talking about 2 events. The BP fan chakra. Use the hashtag on Twitter to get a random item. Now, what sucks about this is these announcements really, like, a lot of this really only applies to Japan. So I really hope we see something about global here in the next couple of, I don't know, chapters of their stream. You can win a keychain. They're going to give away 5 winners. Vol says, I was told that it takes about 2 years to get a good job in tech. It's all about how you manage people, their expectations, etc. Yeah. Managing expectations is a healthy thing, especially as fans of things. It's like, because generally speaking, when people let their imagination, like, the best MMORPG on the market is the one that we haven't seen yet. For example, we've never seen, like, we haven't seen the right MMO. That's the best MMO. Why? Because here I can imagine it to be anything. Once it faces the reality of what it takes to make that kind of game, then it might not work out so well. And then the other event that they've got going on is being showed right now with some of the rewards. Thank you, Jack. Summoning the global version. They'll announce the details on the website. I agree, inspired. They have gotcha tickets, limited time, titles, and you can pick your favorite of the 3 girls. Excuse the yawn, guys. It is super early. Lunchtime creature? What time zone are you in, dude? It is almost 6 in the morning here, Central. They say it's a bit hard to comment because we haven't played Chapter 5 yet. Now they've got some survey feedback for us. They're going to post the entire thing later. Here are some of the points. Ooh. How do you feel about the action battle? The elemental balance is bad. Fire is too strong. So they're going to buff the other elements. Tell us what you like in terms of monthly events. I want the feel of the season, aka the different decorations. Special playstyle and game modes, limited time activities. It just seems stressful. Inspired says, when is fire not too strong? It seems like that's the case in every game I play. In March, there will be a sudden death battle, so it's similar to these kinds of contents. Oh yeah. All right, more stats. Love me some pie charts. Please tell us your favorite gacha outfit. 31% said the maid or the butler. 11% said the caster. The very first gacha. That's so funny. Eight percent says Bernard. 7% is the Sentry, the first gacha as well. Have a great day at work, Inspired. Hopefully you have a great and easy commute. Thanks for spending some time with me this morning. 16% said no preference. I think that would have been my vote. Like, and they're going to add a way to get the past outfits, which I think makes sense. The too much FOMO in games like tends to just kind of drive me away from them. Like I'm like, I don't need that stress in my life. Do you want to play PvP? And they say PvP in this case, which we know the game does not have PvP. 34% say, okay, so they're not meaning the party versus party, which was always confusing some people. 34% says absolutely not. 31% says not really. 21% says if it's there, I'll do it. Like PvP gives you a lot of repeatable content. 8% said yes. I think 7% based off. Oh, that's on the left side. For battle wise. So like it's interesting they're asking that kind of question, and that kind of goes into like, hey, some people aren't having fun. Like overall, the vast majority of people want PvE content. The PvP demand is much, much smaller, but it still is I think it's important. I don't know if the game needs it or not, but I don't know. I like PvPing from time to time. The fact that they didn't have it, I was like, oh, who knows? Maybe I wonder if that's an Amazon thing. Like, hey, like, you guys, you know, what should you do between content patches? Maybe you could have a, like, that's the thing I want to see in New World. I want to see like a PvP tournament that spins up like every couple of weeks or something like that. Hey, what's up, Division? Mostly just Japanese updates and kind of breaking down our estimates on when the game might release versus, you know, all kinds of cool stuff. Creature says PvP games come down to its implementation for me. Sometimes it can be a real drag on the game. Looking at you, Destiny. LOL. Yeah. What's going to be the chart on the right is casual PvP, like different events, etc. That's cool. The what's like true about that, and then with the thing that I would apply to this is that if the game wasn't designed from the get-go with PvP in mind, if they just kind of stack it in, I don't think it's going to be satisfying to the point where the people who are like, yes, I want a PvP, like feel like, oh yeah, this is a really fleshed out system. There are exceptions. I could be wrong, but man. Yeah, the fact that's a good point, Harasan. I'm glad that they're adding a way to get old cosmetics. Like, even if it isn't always available, at least it has some kind of rotation that becomes available for people to get, because that's one of the most annoying things about like the FOMO driven model of like you got to be playing all the time and grinding, and it's like, no, I don't. Like, there's other games that don't demand that kind of commitment for me right now. If they do, it will be at the end of their stream. But I really do hope we hear something about it in this month. But most likely, global news will be coming in at PAX East. What kind of update contents do you want? Oh, please don't be like glamour. Live contents. Oh, yeah. Housing. Oh, man. As long as it's not the 14 housing system. Yeah, the battle pass model that I actually enjoy is the one where you buy a battle pass and you keep it, and then you can just kind of grind on it on your own time. Because what I've found is like with game ones that expire, like if I'm like, hey, yeah, it's 2 weeks before the next big update, I guess I won't play because I know I'm not going to be able to finish the battle pass, as opposed to like, oh, I can make some progress and I can continue that progress into the new season. It artificially drives me out of the game. Like it's not, it has the opposite effect. And I think it's just because I'm just where I'm at in life. I'm sure there are people who get addicted to that FOMO, and I'm like, I don't need that stress in my life, guys. More character creator parts, new bug fixes, new classes. They're talking about things that are coming over the course of the next couple of months. And if they didn't expire and you could just buy them whenever, like that adds that additional revenue source. Now, I'd be fine if they said you can only buy the battle pass during the season, to kind of have that pressure on selling it to you. Oh man, especially at the end of the season, you're like, oh, I'm almost done to finishing. I might as well just go ahead and purchase it. I'd be fine with that kind of model because, that's how sales works. It's like, but it's the implementation of that. They just need to get rid of it and just make it buy and play. I think Blue Protocol is buy and keep, but because they have a battle pass. If they don't, like the same thing with New World, I don't buy the New World battle pass. I'm just like, nope. I think for when I say that what I want for the PvP, Kevin, in New World is like how we have PvE events like the Rabbit's Revenge and things like that kind of pop up throughout the year. I think it'd be really cool if they added in, like a PvP event. It doesn't have to be all the time that just does that, but the demand, people want, the vast majority of gamers want PvE content. And I think Helldivers 2 is a great example of that, especially when executed to, outside of the server issues, that game is phenomenal. Same thing with Grand Blue Fantasy. Phenomenal. Fun to play. Multiplayer optional. Val says, as a salesperson, forcing people only works in the short term. Soft pressure can be good, but the minute that you put constraints, it really damages your reputation over the long run. That's good to know, Val. I guess technically everybody here that's listening to these words is in sales, like whenever it comes to your job and your performance and stuff. But I'm more on the engineering side. I'm like, I get why, like, act now, discounted now. I guess maybe like you could say, like, would this be a good example of a soft pressure where if you buy it during the season, it's discounted, but after the season ends, it's $10 more or something like that, where the value is like, well, if I buy it now, I'm going to save money, as opposed to like, if I wait, then I'm going to have to spend some more money. Would that be a good example of soft pressure? Because I don't like people taking content away from people. They want, so some of the feedback regarding player characters is be like, add more hair. Add more hairstyles. Yeah, and Del, they have not. We will see. We will see when they, as this goes through the surveys. Housing, they know that it is needed. Just not the Final Fantasy XIV housing system, please. Instanced housing. Let people have a house. Hey, Dahesh. A lot of chatter over on the Facebook side of things today. Kind of cool to see.
るっていうことはもう確実でいいんですよね、福崎さん。はい。でやっぱりこういろいろなことにこだわっていくにあたり、ちょっとこうやっぱりすごい大変だ。ごめんなさい、アマグラマーなのでわかんないんですけれども、やっぱりめちゃくちゃ大変ってことなんですよね。
なんていうんですかね、やっぱりマルチプレイの部分、まあ他の人が入ってこれるとか、そういったところの話だったりとか、あとはまあサーバーの空間問題ですね、ところとかをどういうふうに解決するのかっていうところが大体やっぱり引っかかってくるところなので、
Arena style 1v1 PvP. Yeah, that would work.
進めていってるっていう形になりますね、検証を含めて。
やっぱりそこまでいくと結構膨大な開発工数ということで、すごい長い目で考えていらっしゃるんですね。
そうですね。
なので我々としてはちょっとわがままなんですけど、まあ、出してほしいなっていう中で1個フルパッケージというよりもなんか少しずつ刻んで最初は室内、次はお庭、次は例えば外装とか、あとは
interesting.
なんかこのティーカップの
Thanks, Val.
朝食材で例えばそうやったりとか、なんかそんな風に少しずつ
They want to show us a sneak peek, but their tricky part server considerations, so making sure that other players can enter.
ちょっと突っ込みすぎですね、すいません。
まあでも見せれるものから少しずつやっていくつもりではいる。
ありがとうございます。いやでもなかなかハウジング大変そうですね、本当に。
そうだから今回もね、だから検証でこういうことやってるよっていうのは当然知ってるので、なんかその中から今見せられるものってあるっていう、だからまあねっていうのはこうあったんですけど、
そうですよね。
ちょっとねまだ
でも今チャレンジしてもう着手して皆さんにお届けできるように日々頑張っていらっしゃるっていうのをこういうふうに皆さんにお届けできたっていうのは我々としてはすごく嬉しいというか、ほっとするというか、
そこはずっと動いてますので。
The good news is if you're looking for something to play and you have not played Grand Blue Fantasy, that I think will help scratch some of the itch here. Have a good day, Sean. Thanks for stopping by, dude. I appreciate you being here, man.
そうですよね。でもちゃんとするためにこうちゃんと地盤を作っているというか、環境を整えてるんですね。
っていうところはずっと水面下で動き続けて
ちなみにハウジングまずね
なんか俺がアップになった。
これのイベントとかやりたいですもんね。
ですよね。とか他に言えるところ要素ってある。要素だからハウジング
Fishing.
生活とかあるけど、福崎さん要素。
Can you say anything?
ちょっと困らせすぎ。今日はちょっとね4回ぐらい困らせましたね。でもやっぱり本当に頑張ってほしいなと思いますね。これからチャレンジよろしくお願いします。はい、
頑張ります。
そしてキャラクタークリエイトパーツの種類の増加というところで、やっぱり去年雪のせいが
Yeah. Okay, I get you. I see that happen a lot, Val. I've seen it where it's like if you sign the contract, we can get you in the implementation window for delivery during a time frame, but if you don't, then like those slots fill in. Cooking motion, can you say anything? Welcome back, Kyo. Nothing yet. They've talked to the NA community on a JP stream before, Key. It doesn't happen every time, and that, you know, so there is a chance. Hey, what's up, Sony? Yeah, we're live.
追加ルートがわからないですよ。全く関係ないですけど、こんなんあったらいいなハウジングぜひコメントに書いていただいて、なんか皆さん夢を膨らませてね、まあ長い目で、こちら見ていただければと思います。はい、ありがとうございました。
はい、本日ご紹介したアンケートの、ご回答内容を含めまして、3月6日に、他のアンケート項目につきましても、公式サイトにて、公開をさせていただきますので、
YouTube told me I left? No. After this stream, though, is done, the Ginger Prime version of it will go unlisted, and the main live version will be the Blue Protocol Central one. So, if you guys, if you aren't following over in Blue Protocol Central, I think it should be linked in the description as well. And this, I'm toying around with the idea at some point renaming the channel to like Ginger Prime Loves Anime. So it's like, because I posted my my Grand Blue review over on this channel and it did really well. So I thank you guys so much for those of you who checked it out.
進めていきますので、これからもね、お伝えできるタイミングではしっかりお伝えさせていただこうと思っております。
Yeah, because I renamed the New World channel to Ginger Prime MMOs, and I'm thinking about I'm going to rename it. It told me I have to wait like 11 days to change it again. I want to change it to Ginger Prime Loves MMOs or something like that. Ginger Prime's body pillow. All right, guys, let's source a new name for the channel. Let's go. Oh, that's so funny.
それでは早速ご紹介してまいりましょう。まずはこちら。ブループロトコル Amazon Pay 決済キャンペーンスタート。こちら来週のメンテナンス終了後から PC 版での決済限定とはなりますが、Amazon Pay での決済が追加されます。こちらを記念して決済キャンペーンが開催。
All right.
キャンペーンエントリーページでボタンを押した後、Amazon
Announcements. Amazon Pay.
1000円以上購入した方の中から
Start campaign.
様に Amazon ギフトカード
Maybe there is hope.
いたします。なお
The hopium lives on.
すればエントリー前の Amazon Pay のご利用も本キャンペーンの対象となります。詳細は2月28日に公開される告知をご
Thank you guys for the 81 likes, by the way.
スライドお願いいたします。続けてドスパラさん
It's
と
always the same Amazon campaign, it seems like.
紹介です。キャンペーン期間中にドスパラ通販サイトにて Amazon Pay を利用して対象商品
Just rename all my channels to E3 events. They're all available and will never be used again.
対象商品情報と
Welcome back, Isabella. Lots of new things going into the Japan version. What we kind of expected going into the stream. We'll see if they have any news for us because they're in the announcement section.
利用して購入したパソコン購入したら
We don't have a date for New World for consoles yet. They haven't officially announced that, but with the controller support coming, I bet we are going to learn about it in June. And I think essentially that's going to lead into like a September, October expansion that might be very werewolf and vampire themed. And then I think that if it launches on console, it's going to launch in the fall. If it doesn't launch on console this year, they're going to announce it for console and we'll get something in 2025.
記念キャンペーンということで来週
Gotcha ticket here. It's a pretty good deal if you buy a PC there.
記念したこちらログインボーナスまたゲーム内のバフイベントが開催されます。
Monetization.
こちらのイベント多岐にわたるわけですが
Ginger Uwu Prime. Kyle, that's so funny, dude. You guys are funny. I like it.
そうですね。銀ナッポは他のエネミーに比べて経験値が
Oh, very cool, Sony. Sony Nakamura is working on a comic, and they're almost done with the inking part.
エリアに銀ナッポが
That's awesome.
エリアの銀ナッポの出演確率が超アップ
超アップ
超アップします。はい。プラスですね、この新種
Login bonuses, other event-driven stuff.
ところがこちらもまあ
If you've played a modern MMO, this should be right
中の一定期間
in the same vein.
さらなる新種が
本当に知らないけど、なんか語呂がいいからあえて言うんですけどプラチナッポとか
確かに語呂いい。
まあまあ
プラチナッポとか
これを新種はですね通常超低確率
はいはい
ものを、
はい
確率を超アップ
超アップでも僕ナッポ最初めっち
Yeah,
ゃ
I don't think they've really addressed that if there's any kind of zergs. They did say, in a way, they talked about how enemies would scale up with stats key. So it's that as more players enter into the dungeon, things are going to scale up more.
そうもうねあれ一回したらですね10秒間ごめんなさいって言いながら逃げ回るのでまあまあいいやでもナッポ結構殴っていくんですねなんかブルモの世界ってで新種がこれから殴っていくんですよね僕ら
新
新
種も
種はそうですね、
まあ敵だからね。
敵だな
経験値あるしね。
経験値そうですねだから今回まあ応援してくれるということですよね
そうですそういう意味合い。
60から70円キャップ上昇ということでそれはでもありがたいですよねはい
はい。
ありがとうございますぜひ皆さんこちらもお楽しみをお待ちいただければと思いますキャンペーンではガシャチケットも獲得できますのでぜひお見逃しなくそれでは続いてはこちら公式グッズの登場となりますさあついに来ました公式グッズこちら下岡さんお願いいたします
Always like clapping alongside them.
この度ですね、ローソンさん、ムービックさん、バンダイスピリッツさんから
Official merchandise. Merchandising.
スライドをお願いします。はい、まずローソンさんです。ローソンさんではクリアファイルアクリルブロックキーホルダーが、販売されます。こちらの商品におまけとして GC のシリアルもついてきますので、購入された際は、お忘れなく。もう一枚スライドをお願いします。そしてですね、
Clear folders and keychains.
ローソンさんにあるコピー機から印刷できるブロマイドもございます。
And it comes with coupons for 2000 GC.
制限ございません。ぜひローソンさんにね行った際はチェックしてみてください。コピー機でねこう印刷できるやつですね。はい。続いてはムービックさんになります。お願いします。
Bromade's pinup photos can also be printed in large, too large sizes.
まあ後ほどまた見ていただくんですけども、僕らの胸に小さな
Stickers, coffee mug.
お気づきになりましたでしょうか。こちらが、アクリルバッジとなっております。そして、クラスステッカー全6種。
No Western release date yet, Sony. I'm speculating right now we'll be looking at June the 14th because that's going to be the 1 year anniversary. And I do expect that we'll see them. If we don't get an announcement this week, it would be weird if they did it at the end of February rather than just wait until PAX East on March 21st.
全国アニメショップにて販売ということになります。
I've seen speculation on a guitar and kind of a bard class, and based off the stage mount, it seems like that is definitely the direction they're going.
バンダイスピリッツさんお願いします。スタンド付きアクリル
Yeah, it's supposed to be. They're speaking Japanese. I don't want to compete with Japanese. Hey.
オンラインのクレーンゲームはいはいはい出ます。こちらで展開予定となります。本日ですね、現物をいくつか持ってこさせていただきましたので、ここから紹介させて
Yeah, sometimes maybe. I mean, there's always a chance.
いつもと場所が違うなという話ちょっと冒頭あったんですけれども、これが出ると抜けちゃうっていうこと。
後ろがモニターなのはグリーンバックに抜けないためだった。
Showing off these
ということで
folders.
まず、こちらからいきましょうか。はい、こちらがですね、ローソンさんでクリアファイル2枚セットになってまして、まあ、こちらの、まあ、あと4
もう本当この方にはですね、いろいろな複雑な気持ちを持っているこの方と
今持ってるのが、ペアペアです。
Let's see here. We have some time, but after the stream, I'd love it if you guys join me for this stream. The system should auto redirect you, and we're not wrapping up just yet, but I'm just popping that out there for anybody who is interested. We have the Nintendo Partner Showcase today. I'm very curious to see if we see some Dragon Quest news. That's what I'm looking forward to. So if you guys want to hang out for that, that's going to be at 8 a.m. Central. I'll probably fire that show up maybe a little bit sooner. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe just we'll go right into it and just hang out and talk about it. I don't know. Hey, what's up, Dev? Well, we'll hang out here for a little bit and I'll answer any questions you guys have, etc. Because it's 6:20. I'm just trying to do some math in my mind. There's the keychain. Oh my gosh. They got you, girl. It'd be so funny if, like, to purchase the physical items, you had to enter into a gacha system as well. And you're like, all right, I would like a keychain. I can't pick which one. You just gotta hope that they send you the one you want.
コピー機で印刷できるという各種名場面がお写真になって、まあ、好きな、まあ、43種あるんですけれども好きな番号を
Here.
で打つと
I'm
ピーって印刷されて出てくるという
those of you on the Twitch side of things, that will be what happens where we go next. But if you want to watch on Twitch, you totally can.
一旦そちらでお願い
で楽しむですね。
金じゃのポーズもございます。
いいですね。はい。
ぜひですね、プレイ
43 types of photos that you can print. You can get bigger sizes, L and L and 2L.
ちょっと自分で言っときながら見ながらプレイするかなって今思ったんでしょ。
まあ、そばには置いとくかもしれないけど、見ながらはしないなって思っちゃう。
そうね。携帯の後ろのさクリアのさやつちょっとうまく切って自分でこうやるとか。
カスタマイズ。いいこと言う。今日冴えてる。グッドポイントです。
ありがとう。
で、胸についてるこれ次、ムービックさんですね。ムービックさんこちらがですね、 胸にみんなの胸に今日ついていたんですけれども、こちらが
Ooh, Sony, I'd be happy to
けれども、これが
take a look at your comic.
4タイプありまして、はい、鈴木くんのもだから今日全員違うのつけてるのかな。
違うですね。
Shirt pin.
つけてびっくりしてるやつ。
あ、表情違うのか。
そう今日で福崎さんのが
あ、はてなはてなはてな。
あ
俺もはてなはてなんですね。はい。
で福崎さんのが
あ、寝てる
やつ。
かわいい。
そう全4種ということになっております。で、気になるタンブラーですけども、こちら現物がございます。ほら見たことあるでしょ。あ、ちょっと光っちゃってますけど、まあぜひですねチャージしていただいて、はい、
リキッド
をね、リキッドメモリーチャージいただければというふうに思っております。
いいですね。
で、こちらある通りですね、なんといーちゃんデビューしました。お、はい。これラバーコースターですね。はいはい。
This feels very like I feel like with their news and announcements, they've really taken the page out of the Final Fantasy 14 playbook.
KBL を利用しましたアクリルパネルになっております。こちらがムービックさんでございました。で、最後がバンダイスピリッツさんで、こちらにドドンとたくさん並べさせていただいておりますが、これ映りますでしょうか。これですね。
映りますかね。
はい、
ちょっとアップしていただいて。
でこれが先ほど申しましたけれども、ナムコと、トルモにて展開予定となってまして、まあこのようにですね。
I think the next if nothing comes out of AGS at all today, I think the next logical touch point is PAX East, where they, kind of update everybody.
背景に入れて、ここ来たぞみたいな時に
ベッセと巡る何々旅行的なね。
巡っていただければと思います。
はい、いいですね。
ボルディゲンと巡っても大丈夫です。
ああ、僕はこの子やな。僕は僕の中のボルディゲンと巡りますね。
あ、でもね、ティアとちゃんと巡る場合はそれをまあ
それがブロックキーボード。
These are very cool.
切り抜いていただいて、
あ、マジか。いやでもね、いろいろ楽しめるってことですよね。
そうです
生活の中でね
いろん。な感じで楽しんでいただければと。あ、ティアちゃんブロックもあり
あ、
ますね。
そっか。
はい。
はい。複雑な感情を抱いておりますけどね。
はい。というわけで、こちらが、
Perhaps their secret fountain of youth has run dry.
終了後22時に公開される
It runs dry for everybody at some point, Key.
よろしくお願いいたします。いやもうでも僕今回ですね、5章のやっぱ曲すごく僕胸高鳴ったから、いつかサントラお願いしたいなってちょっと。CD 欲しい、ちーちゃん欲しいな、テンション上がるあのボステの曲欲しい。じゃあみんなでお願いしよう。
何その流れ。
よくわかんないんだけど、
さっき気持ち悪いってコメント流れるんでご了承ください。
大丈夫です。
はい、よろしくお願いします。さあということで下岡さん説明ありがとうございました。ブループロトコル公式グッズのご紹介でした。さあということで番組も終わりの時間が近づいてきたということで、ここで配信記念のアイテムプレゼントを下岡さんに発表していただきましょう。
はい、今回からですね、ちょっとシリアルではなく配信記念としてゲーム内のレターで配布をさせていただきます。
お、はい。
まあ、ちょっとあれをコピーしてね、ログインしてコピーして、
I agree. I'm like, come on. We haven't seen any posts because there's been stuff going on in Japan. So like AGS hasn't even posted on the site at all. I check it like every day.
のでこちらはご注意いただいて、ぜひログインして受け取ってくださいませ。今回のプレゼントはこちらになっております。お、はい、ということで、
No coupon codes this time. These things are just going to get sent into your mailbox.
ログインをお願いしますということに。
そうですね、ログインだったらもう全然ね。はい。いや、ガシャチケありがとうございます。
They're going to send you 5 gacha tickets and 3 30-minute enemy drop increases.
でよろしくお願いします。
こちらこの後、
Yeah, it only hurts the more you acknowledge it. This game isn't real, guys. This is all an elaborate ruse.
あ、ゾーン移動か、そっか、リロードみたいな感じですね。はい。さあということでぜひ皆さんこちらぜひゲットしてお楽しみいただければと思います。さあそれでは本日の番組も間もなく終了ということで、最後に今日の感想とユーザーの皆様へのメッセージ一人ずつお願いしたいと思います。まずは鈴木さん。
はい、本日も最後までご視聴いただきありがとうございます。本日この後22時から、お伝えしましたプレゼントと、
Yeah, they're going to be ahead of us for sure. Closing messages to players. The hopium. Let me get some hopium. Feel the hopium.
ただくことができます。PV の中であったあのシーンをぜひ皆様に見ていただきたいと、思っておりますので、ぜひ来週ログインいただいて、プレイいただけると幸いです。はい。あと次回ですね。次回のブルプロ通信ですが、
Who are we talking about, Andrew?
4月に新クラスをご紹介をさせていただければと思っております。
Half-Life 3 confirmed, guys. They just announced it.
クラスをプレイいただきたいなって次回の放送では思ってます。
じゃあ4月キャスティング
Yeah, they're gonna add in the JP content. Like that's the live service aspect of it.
でも4月に皆さんに初お目見えということがもう確定してるところですね。うわー4月下旬のバージョンアップでね。バージョンアップで。あ、ということでぜひ皆さん4月楽しみにしていただけ
It's not gonna. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be like a crazy delay in terms of like. But I think you'll always have like, oh, what is coming to Blue Protocol? You can see from the Japanese version.
はい、引き続き開発頑張ります。
でそうですよね。それはそうですよ。
ですね、5章の内容が、まあPB の内容とかでもあると思うんですけど、まあ非常になんだろう、バンナムらしい。
ちょっと待って、会社の名前でらしいっていうのは初めてですね。その
いやでも、ってなる。
わかる。
ので、ちょっとそうですね、まあだいぶ気合が入っている。
いいですね。
紙的にも。はい。おすっげーって結構最初思ってたので、はい。のところははいありますので。
Yeah, so this is just a closing message to players. They don't have no sweet global news for us just yet. It's like, thank you for playing. Please continue to play. Please keep us sending us your feedback. It's that's what's T's key. They haven't shown it off yet, though. I think the new class will be shown off next in the March development update.
今まで実はもう1キャラいて、まあ名前を隠したプレイしてたんですけど、まあ多分僕相当目撃情報あるかなと見てます。はい。で、まあ下岡で始めちゃうと、まあ僕の偽物が出て、もうちょっとわかんないっていうことで、まあ無理を言ってというか、まあそれは元々の決め事で、まあ括弧運営とついているんですけれども、まあ中身私がちゃんと遊んで。ちゃんとみんなとコミュニケーション取ってやっていきたいということで、まあ名前ありの状態でプレイさせて、
バラバババ
まあそういう意味では、まあちょっと思うところも各運営ってついてる状態でプレイするっていうことに、まあ思うところもある方いらっしゃるかなと思うんですけど、まあ自分としては名前を出したプレイをすることが自分にとってすごく大事。
Here's the feedback. When's the global version?
なので、まあこれからもね、レグナスの未来の
It's like, should I just like start spamming that in chat for them, like for their live stream? Like, global when, guys? Oh, a crossover event with Tales of Arise would be nuts. I would like that a lot.
ぜひですね、ブルプロを楽しみながらですね、またこれから始まっていく新しいライトな遊びの仕掛け、そしてこれからですね、もうちょっと先になるかもしれませんが、ハウジング、そして来週は5章ということで、はい、短期、中期、長期とぜひ皆さん
I haven't played Scarlet Nexus. I think that's in Game Pass.
誠にありがとうございました。またご視聴いただければと思います。それでは次回またブルプロ通信4月でお会いしましょう。最後は鈴木さん、いつものお願いします。
はい、では行きましょうか。ヒコーラの旅に幸運があらんことを。
ありがとうございました。あ
りがとうございました。
All right, that's the event, guys. That's the event. All right, we can just pause this now. All right, what did you guys think? Obviously, I think a big disappointment, big D disappointment in that no global news. Once again, us plebs who keep getting kicked out of their Japanese game servers left hanging. First shout out just for those of you who didn't catch the intro of today's live stream. After this, the stream will redirect you over to the Nintendo reaction, which kicks off around 8 o'clock Central, so roughly about an hour and a half from now. I did get a text from my wife. I might pop downstairs, help her out with the kids this morning, be a good husband and good father. And then we'll jump into doing, we'll be back for the Nintendo event. And if you guys want to join me, I hope you guys do. Let me see if the links are set up. So the link's going out now. The system will auto redirect you. I'm going to put out a summary video here on the channel going over all the news, because they did have news. Like, there's interesting things and changes, interesting discussions to be had. If you guys enjoyed the live stream, hit that like button. That's a great way for free to support the content that I make, as well as getting up at 4 in the morning for you guys. I do it for y'all. I love you guys. So that all being said, I would like to hang out, I think, a little bit more and just kind of get, read some more of your y'all's comments, but I do apologize. I think I'm going to go help out with the fam, and then I'll be back. I'll fire up the Nintendo stream early, so we can talk about Blue Protocol. We can talk about, what we hope to see from the partner showcase, and so much more. So all that being said, thank you guys so much for spending some time with me today. Hopefully I will see you guys in the next live stream, and wish you guys all the very best. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.